Alright guys, so I am taking a look at one of the nicest, maybe the nicest, fitness tracker that I've ever tried, which I've tried quite a few. It's somewhere over 10 probably. And I say that because although I do have another one that's like one of the most basic, that's actually one of my favorites as well, in terms of, you know, one is the most basic and it's my favorite. This is the most advanced and it's my favorite. Because depending upon what option I'm looking for at the time, that seems to be a great way to go as far as these two options. So if you want to find out more about that, you can check out the other video. But this one I like. I wish they had longer battery life, but I've managed to make that a little bit less of an issue, and I'll talk more about that as we go. But this comes in 4 different colors. Obviously I've chosen the blue, my favorite color, so I think that's really great. It uses the Very Fit Pro app, and I'm actually very familiar with that app. I've used it in the past with other fitness bands, and out of all the different apps that I've tried over the course of trying different bands out, I found that to be probably my #1 favorite app by far, just because of the functionality and the capabilities of that app. It's just very, very thorough and complete. So really, really like that. Okay, so the box that it comes in, right here, you can do your QR code. It's on here. It's also on the back of the user manual, so you can actually use that to download the app from the App Store. And other than that, of course, there's different information provided in different languages. But you got this little cover I wanted to show you that comes on there. Of course, you peel that off and you wear it in the same way you would a watch, the little band. And we pull like that, you can see that's all there is to it. And you plug this in, and let's see, so I don't know if you heard that, but there's a little circle and a percentage, and it vibrates when you plug it in. So if you got this plugged in the right way, and if you run your hand across the top, you can light it up again. If you plug this in the right way, it will begin charging. When you unplug it, it vibrates again. But if you plug this in the wrong way, you're not going to get any charge. There's nothing going to happen. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay. Now on the bottom here, you have your little heart sensor. Move this stuff out of the way. So you have a little heart sensor here. Now, if you want to conserve battery, you can turn this on to like a manual measurement as opposed to an automatic measurement. If you run the automatic measurement, this thing is going to pull the heart rate periodically, and it's going to do so with such frequency that you're probably going to accelerate the battery usage by a considerable margin. I don't have an exact comparison between the two, but I suggest using the manual option to conserve battery life. So the rating on this is about, well, the charge time, it's going to vary depending upon what you have it really plugged into. So it's going to vary, I'd say, between 1 and 2 hours. 2 hours at the absolute maximum, but 1 to 2 hours charge time. And the rated usage is about 5 to 7 days. Now that's going to vary between individual, because like there is a breathing guided sort of meditation or exercise, if you will, that is included with this. And when you use that, you know, it's going to stay lit up so that you can see the screen. And in doing so, it is going to accelerate the battery usage, you know, a lot quicker. Put this back in the band. All right. So that's a factor to keep in consideration. The other thing is with this, I mean, you can't really see it. I don't think you'll be able to make it out, but I'll try to get it really close. I don't know how it's going to focus. There's a little circle right here, and that's kind of where you touch to activate. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but you know, you'll want that at the bottom when you're wearing it, so that way the display is correctly oriented. You won't be able to see this in the sun, so that's definitely a little bit of a factor, which is also why I like the other bracelet that's super simple that I was talking about, because if you're going to be outside and need to see it in the sun, that's going to be an issue. So other than that, it is very lightweight, very comfortable to wear. If you're going to be sweating in the rain, washing your hands, showering, none of those are going to pose an issue. If you wanted to go swimming, I would say as long as you are staying near the surface and not going too deep, you're fine. If you start diving too deep underwater, that could potentially pose some problems. It's not made for very deep submersion, and I think it's like a 1 meter, which is around 3 feet. So you don't want to go too far from the surface, okay? So that's something to consider. Synchronization and Bluetooth, as far as the app goes with the phone, is very, very good. It's actually very strong, and you do have an option to have, it's called an anti-lost, and what that means, of course, is if the phone and the bracelet are separated by too far a distance, you will be alerted to that. So some of the cool things about this, I'm not going to go through every aspect, and we're going to take a look at the screen and a few things in just a moment, but just to run through real quick, you can control music. You can use this as a selfie remote control, so you can control your camera. It gives you weather forecast, and it does use the phone's GPS as far as transmitting data to kind of build some of the information, from what I understand. So I guess you can kind of map out different things if you're running, or different routes. I really don't get into that aspect of it myself because of health issues too much, so I don't explore that feature too much. So I'm not going to talk too much on that, but it was listed in the Amazon listing as one of the functionalities features. So that seems like a pretty cool thing to have. Other things are, like I said, it's kind of a guided meditation. There's sedentary reminders, so if you're sitting around too much, you can set this to alert you so that you stay more active periodically at whatever interval that you choose. You can put it on Do Not Disturb so that you're not dealing with constant alerts from this. Like I said, time and the weather I was mentioning. Like I said, there's so many features. The heart monitor aspect, there's just a lot. It also, I don't use things like WhatsApp and other things like that, but there is a list of supported applications in the VeriFit Pro so that you can receive alerts on this, similar to like you would if you had a smartwatch. I don't use a lot of those apps, so I can't speak too much to the functionality in that regard, unfortunately. But I think that's also going to vary, probably depending upon the app and the phone and like some of the Android versions, as far as just how well some of that different things work. So I'm going to say mileage will vary on that. Okay, so other than that, let's take a look at the unit itself. I don't know how well you can see this, but the battery is on the top right. I believe the Bluetooth on the left. You got the time and then the date below it. And if you drag your hand across, you can actually scroll through. So we got like our music play, which gives us play, pause, and track navigation. We've got our weather, and that's going to give us the high, the low, the sunny outside. No messages, mindfulness. Now, if you tap on this, it's going to give you a countdown, and it's going to tell you to inhale 3 seconds, hold your breath, exhale. So this was about the guided sort of meditation for breathing. It also vibrates as it changes, so we're not going to deal with that. All right, good job. And so we got different training. Now this is actually interesting. It's got, I don't know exactly how this works 100%, honestly, because there's a lot of things here I wouldn't do, but like tennis, basketball, dance, walking, running, different specific activities that you can, choose from, which is, I think, pretty interesting. This little button, like I said, you can't really see it, it's under the glass, but this little button on the bottom kind of acts as the back button. So if at any given time, if you wanted to get back, you can just use that button. Now, this is the heart monitoring. Again, I have it set to manual. I'm not going to go through that right now. You can deal with that. But the more option, if you touch this, you can cycle through some of the different things. With your Bluetooth settings, you can turn it off and on. Your wrist alert, so when you turn your wrist up, it automatically lights up. You can turn that off and on. So, that's sort of your settings menu, your Do Not Disturb. Like I say, if you want to turn this off, you can. I'm not going to do that. So there's just a really nice amount of options available. So let's go back to the main screen. And if we just sit here and tap the actual screen, you can actually cycle through the distance traveled, the steps taken, the calories burned, you know, the different things. There's also like a timer, like a stopwatch type thing, I believe. So, like I said, just a really, really full-featured bracelet. Very impressive. I think the price is what, $35 maybe, a little over 30 bucks. So compared to like a Fitbit, which I think, I don't know, costs what, twice, 3 times as much, depending on which model you get. I think this gives you, well, pretty much close to the same functionality in a lot of ways, maybe not every way. So let me open up the Very Fit app. So right now, I don't know if you can really see it, but at the top here, it's synchronizing right now, so it'll, you know, change. You've got your activities, your sleep, and your heart rate here on the front screen. You of course have your calories, mileage, and activity duration. So you have different things here. You can set this up, and they just synchronized, of course, so my steps have increased more than double. So that's nice. You also, on your main page, you can go through and look at different things with like sleep, and you can chart out some different things. So that's really nice, and it kind of gives you like light sleep and heavy sleep, the duration of your total amount of sleep, you know, different aspects. So very full feature. Like I said, in this app, you can go through details and kind of see different charting and different averages for like the past week. You've got the device down here at the bottom. This is where you can change a lot of the settings. You can actually reboot the watch if you want to right from the app. You can change the heart rate, your music control. I've got mine for Amazon Music because I primarily use that when I use music. Camera shooting, alarm, sedentary alerts, call alerts, and this time and everything just synchronizes with the app. So super easy. Device update, more options. You can go through weather forecast, find my phone, heart rate zones. You can actually kind of set specific rates depending upon, you know, what you want. The disturb mode, so you're not disturbed, like I said, with vibrations, alerts, and different things. Reboot the device. Just a lot of features within this app. Very impressive. When you do go in to change these settings, instead of just tapping, you might want to like slide your finger across to turn these things off and on, because if you just tap on them, that doesn't do anything. And a lot of people might be like kind of frustrated because they think that's how it works, but it's more of a slide that works a lot better, I found. Then you have your user information. You can go in and set up your personal information, your weight, your height, you know, things, your activity goal, like how far you want to walk. You know, if you want to sync this with Google Fit, you know, and of course permissions are required for different things. So just a really cool thing. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and sync my account with it. And usually I have that turned on, but I've been playing with this app and different things. So you can log in and register for an actual account with Very Fit, I believe. I've never done that, but you can do so. Like I said, binding the device, very simple, very fast, very easy. When you first open the app, it will do that, kind of walk you through that. So yeah, like I said, just a really great app. You can share different information if you wanted to with you know, different friends, different like WeChat, WhatsApp, you know, things of that nature. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit of, you know, what's available. You know, your call alert. Let's see, I think it's the, yeah, there we go. The SNS alert. So calendar notifications, emails, SMS. You got like Facebook, WeChat, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. I mean, there's a pretty good list. I mean, obviously there's a lot more out there, but a pretty good, you know, amount of things available. Hopefully it will, you know, be good for some people. Will be very happy with that. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully you found that useful. I tried to go through like some of the different functionalities, touch on a little bit of everything. I don't know. I think it's very impressive. The heart rate, you know, aspect makes this one a little different than some of the others, and this will light up green whenever that actually happens. So you'll want to wear it a little above, not right on the bony part of your wrist, but right above it to get a little bit more accurate reading. And other than that, I can't think of anything else that I want to share with you about this. So if you want to find out more, you can check out the links below and find out more about that. Functionality, feature set. Like I said, there's just a lot of stuff that this one does. Not all of them offer that much. I mean, I love the weather forecast is right on the watch. That's pretty cool. So anyway, that is pretty much it. Check out the links below if you want to find out more information. Hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful in some way, shape, or form, and I appreciate you taking time to watch.